last week I took you on a tour of our primary bedroom, and this week I thought I would follow that up with a tour of our primary bathroom. Now, this is a space that has slowly evolved over the last 18 months that we've been here. So we haven't done any major renovations, and we've just made a series of small tweaks to make the space what we want it to be and to make it function the way that we want it to function. So let me take you on a tour around the room. I'll show you what we've done and how we've managed to do everything at a bargain basement price. Okay, so this room was all white as you see it now when we purchased the house. White walls, white floor. Now I did recently give everything a fresh coat of white paint. It was just getting to that point where it was time for a little bit of a spruce up. And I think that's really helped to brighten the space. Now you may notice there is a cast iron tub, but there is not a shower. Now I thought that I would want to put a shower in up here, and I don't have any interest in doing that now. So we have a shower downstairs on the main floor, and I really feel like that's enough. I don't feel like we need one up here. If anything, having a bathtub up here in our primary suite is it's just a good reminder to slow down and enjoy life a little bit more. So honestly, we feel very spoiled to have this space because this is the first time we've ever had a primary bathroom. We've always shared a bathroom with our kids. Okay, so walking around and pointing out some of the decorative touches. So these curtains here came from a vide grenier. Now, if you've been around for a while, you've heard me talk about vide greniers, and they're basically like a town-wide yard sale. So I found the curtains at Wood and vide grenier, and sometime later found the curtain rod and its finials at another. So it did take a little while to assemble all of the pieces, or to acquire all of the pieces that we needed for that window, but I would much rather have something take time than shell out a bunch of money. Okay, so on another note, I will say that if you see something hanging on a wall in our house, you know we really like it, because Mr. Huff and I don't like to put holes in walls unless we're really certain about something. So that's certainly the case for this relief here. Now, I found this at a consignment store, really loved it, and then Mr. Huff gave it to me for Christmas. So I love that it's super neutral. It doesn't add a lot of visual clutter to the room, but it does add some visual interest and a little bit of texture. Now, we have not bought much retail for this room, as you're going to see, but one of the things that we did purchase retail are these sconces here. Now, I got these through a catalog company. They were 36 euros a piece, which I thought was really very reasonable because they add a ton of style. So I think worth every penny. And this mirror next to them should have been another retail purchase. Now, I ordered this mirror from the same company. I absolutely love that even though it's a new mirror, it has lots of vintage details to it. But unfortunately, when it arrived, it was completely broken. And so we contacted the company, and they had us send pictures of the mirror. And then they, as most companies do nowadays, they refunded us rather than replacing it. Now, I could have ordered another one, but Mr. Huff and I felt really bad about this mirror going to waste because it's just such a beautiful frame. So he set out to cut a new piece of mirror for the frame. This is not something he had done before, even though we did have glass cutting tools. And we started with a piece of mirror that we found in the barn. And unfortunately, he made a couple attempts and they kept breaking because it has curved corners, which is a little trickier. So he would get almost all the way done, and on one of the last corners, it would break the mirror. So we ended up buying another really cheapy, large mirror at the consignment store, which gave him another 2 attempts. So on attempt number 4, he managed to cut the glass that you see in this mirror now. So it looks awesome. And then he and I are just both really glad that we were able to put something to use instead of it ending up in the landfill. So very happy with that. And you'll see this bathroom has sort of a built-in cabinet that runs along the wall. So that it's actually a pedestal sink that they have built this around just to give you a little bit of hidden storage space. And then it's got a bit of a ledge for storing things that runs all the way down the length of that wall. So that all got a fresh coat of paint recently, and I think it's looking great. Now, this bathroom did not have a place for a hand towel when we moved here, and I eventually found this little brass towel rack at another Vide Grenier, and I think probably, I kind of suspect maybe it was something for a boat, but it's perfect because it fits the side of the sink just to a T. All right, now my favorite piece in the room, hands down, is this blue dresser. So I love the colors and the detail of it. And then it has a really nice marble top. So that was a consignment store piece. And it's great because this bathroom is lacking in storage space. And so rather than solving that with some kind of renovation and a bunch of like prefab cabinets, which I wouldn't have loved, this serves the purpose that we need. So it has plenty of room, and I've shown you in the previous video, plenty of room to store all of our toiletries that we're using, as well as stuff that we've bought ahead on sale. So this has taken the space of the sort of toiletry stockpile that I would have had in my linen closet back in the US. So love, love, love that piece. And again, it was very affordable. Now you may have seen when I redid this mirror. So I found this one weekend at yet another Vide Grenier. It had recently been refinished and had a very, very glossy coat of varnish on it, which was just really not my style. But I loved all of the details of the mirror, and the size of it I knew would work really well for us. So I got it for 40 or 50 euros, I think. And then I came home and did a whitewash finish to create the look that you see now. So that was a really quick project, and it is truly the perfect size to hang over that dresser. And then I picked up this vase, this ceramic or pottery vase at our favorite consignment store. I think that was 4 euros. And I'm not usually one for fake flowers, guys, but these are incredibly realistic. And I found those at a discount store here. So I like them because it adds a little color to the room without me having to constantly replace them with fresh flowers and to pick up all the petals as they age and fall everywhere. And let's see, my super trick, if you're trying to save money on a bath mat and you were looking for something large scale, my trick is to purchase an outdoor rug instead, which is what this one is. So then you're able to get things in quite large dimensions, which is nice. I think it fills the space better, but also it's just nice because it protects your floors more. So if you have kids, you know that water ends up everywhere if they're showering or bathing or whatever. And so even though our kids are grown up, I am definitely, that's ingrained in my head to protect floors in the bathrooms. So this was a very inexpensive rug, and it's great because it actually dries a heck of a lot faster than a bath mat. And it's quite humid here in Normandy, so something that dries fast is really great. Okay, so a couple last details, and I will show you everything. So this room, when we bought the house, had a heated towel rack on this wall here. Now, it was malfunctioning. It would turn on its own, and we didn't want to worry about that. So we ended up removing that. And instead, we just hung hooks for our towels. So I found these hooks. It took me forever. It's funny sometimes how the smallest detail can be the thing that takes you forever to source. But it took me forever to find some simple hooks that I liked. I ended up finding these at Zara. We were in Spain visiting our daughter, helping her move in actually, and I found these. So they were like €6 a piece because stuff's actually a little bit cheaper in Spain. And that's all we really need. We're simple people. We don't need a lot of stuff. So I'm happy with this versus a heated towel rack. Now, I did want to get bath sheets this time instead of bath towels. So that's what these are. You can see they're very long. These were actually from H&M, and I got them on a really great sale one time for, I think they were $7.99 a piece, which is fantastic for a big bath sheet like that. And one of the things I love about them is that they have hooks sewn into them, loops rather, so that they're easy to hang up. So they have actually two. They have one on the side, on the long side, and one on the short side. So those have been great, and that's actually, as you'll see, that's what I've put in all of the bathrooms so far, is just these H&M bath sheets in different size or different colors. And then let's see, I guess the last thing in the room is that blue chair. So that was actually in the bathroom when we bought the house, and I have kept that there because it's certainly very functional. I have a place to sit down to put on socks or whatever when you're getting dressed, and it happens to have same colors as our rug. So that's worked really well. Now, I said that was the last thing, but let's take one more spin around and see what else I have missed. Okay, so secondhand all the way, guys, everything. So trash can, that was a thrift store find when we got here. Toilet paper holder came with us from the US. And let's see, the only other thing I am spotting that we haven't talked about are these little pottery containers, ceramic containers. And these came from a really awesome discount store here. They were dirt cheap. And just like those, this as well, our toothbrush holder. Hey, you don't usually put those in a home tour, but we will do that because this marble toothbrush holder was $1.95. Dirt cheap at that thrift store, or not thrift store, that discount store. So that was a great deal. And something we've not shown you anywhere in the house yet that I love is our soap. Now, I think this is called a Savon Collier. So it's like schoolboy soap, basically. So schools would have had these back in the day so that you didn't have the messy kids with soap and soggy soap everywhere. It's just on a mounted bracket. The soap, when you buy it, actually has a hole that threads onto it, and you have a really easy way to wash your hands without having like the soap that sits in the water in the dish and gets all soupy. So just a little French detail that I really love. And yeah, I think that is pretty much our bathroom. So you've now seen our primary bedroom and our primary bathroom. And in a previous video, I did a tour of the family room that is on this floor. So if you're interested in going back and watching either of those, I will include links in the description below the video to both of those.